All praise to the Most High. Today, it looks like my daughter is going into labor, so we just got one of the grands over, and it looks as though I'm going to be pretty much heading out. Probably a little bit, maybe not sure, but we're not going to do a lesson tonight. What we'll do is we'll continue the lesson on the Sabbath, if it's the Most High's will. So saying that, there's a lot going on in the world, and I know I did a video recently talking about the president and what's going on in the world. And one thing I want to remind everyone here, and it's very imperative to let everyone know, one thing that's very important is that we need to understand that even though, as I said, that I believe Trump is the last Trump, I want you guys to understand and gals to understand what's going on in the world. Everything that's going on in the world right now as we speak is biblical prophecy. The Most High is swaying a king's heart, just like a river. So saying that, there's some things that have been going on as far as a lot of people being fired, a lot of things, and I think what that is just shaking things up. Now, no mean think for 1 minute that these people are our friends. No, they're doing the things that to save basically their people, and not only that, but to also get rid of the what I would call the riffraff and the things that have been tearing up the American society. Going into the military, taking the alphabet people out, going into the federal government systems and all of that. Now, some of these systems, and when you're talking about veterans and you're talking about people who shed blood for this country and who deserves to have monies given to them, I pray that he doesn't touch those programs whatsoever. But there's been a lot of disproportionate programs that are out there that have disproportionately been going to individuals that are not our people, minorities, the aboriginals, the original people that are in the Americas. And so I see what he's doing even with the schools, making sure that only certain people can go through certain bathrooms, and making sure that it's not a political situation, but a spiritual one. He also says that he wants to bring prayer back in school and make it a prayer nation. And I know why. He sees, just like when you read the books, it's called, what book was that? From Babylon to Timbuktu, Arthur Koestler and the 13th Tribe. That was the book I remember reading that out of. And he was talking about how the people of Khazaria, which is Ukraine today, how those people were called the serpent people, and that those people started doing something. They started cutting off the stones. They started doing things, alphabet, rainbow, and it was at a high level to the point where their population was at -0 birth rate. Sound familiar? And so they started doing things to the point where they were worshiping Lucifer. And so what they had to do was go in and say, you know what? The king said, you know what? I'm looking around me, because remember, they converted to Judaism in 720. That's when they took our identity. But the king said something. He said, man, all this stuff is going on. We won't be around. If we keep this up, we will not be around. We got to do something about this cutting off the stones. We got to do something about these men who don't have wives, and they're doing things where we won't have a population. Same thing is going on now, because these are the remnant of those children right now. And so they see, when they set up Planned Parenthood, and they set it up for us, of course, but they see something. They see that, you know what? The sword that we put on them is turned on us. And so we need to get rid of Planned Parenthood. We need to get rid of Roe versus Wade. We need to reverse some things. And this is why he says he wants to make America great again. He wants to go back when they thrive. Well, I'll tell you something. Those days are gone. They're no longer here, and they will never come back. But all he can do right now is subside the pains, or the birthing pains that are going on right now. America has birthing pains, and these birthing pains are getting worse and worse. Like my daughter, who's about to have a baby. She says she's going through contractions right now. The earth is going through contractions. And I believe when it gets to about 10 centimeters, 11 or so, that's when the baby is about to come out and be born. Well, folks, as I said before, this earth right now is about 10 centimeters. She's at the prefaces. She's at the end. And so what's getting ready to happen is the Most High's children about to be delivered. And during that time and before that time, I want to say this, I want to say with impunity. Jacob has had his trouble. We've lost millions of people. We're as numerous as the sands of the sea. This is not our time right now. This is time truly the time of the Gentiles. But it's our time to get our houses straight. It's our time to get ourselves correct, get ourselves right. Because a lot of people don't understand the biblical prophecies that are playing out. And they're playing out for a reason. The Most High said heaven and earth may pass away, but my words never will. He's bringing all of his words to fruition. And another thing he's doing, and I love it, that he's waking his children up. Not only his children, but the other nations who he gave that cup to, who he gave the kingdom to. That nation that believed more than us. These other nations, Psalms 83 verse 1, all those nations that came together and were confederate. But those people who believed more than us because they saw the blessing that he had put upon us, they saw the land when they came into America, Atlantis, Tartaria, when they came into these lands, when they came into Israel over in the other land, the land that Benjamin, Levi, and Judah owned, when they came into the Congo and saw the land of Judah, when they came into all these lands that we own, they saw the wealth and the prosperity, the abundance that the Most High gave us. But they had to come to the land of milk and honey, the land of Canaan. That's the Americas. This was given to our people. But when they did these things, something happened. We became a people that were ostracized, a people that names were taken, a people when the dolls rolls were rolled out, they took our names and completely changed them. A people whose land was taken, their gold, silver, even the oil. You know, Tulsa, Oklahoma had many oil wells. And of course, all through America. So everything that's going on right now, everything you see Trump doing is trying to restore back a time that is far gone. Every great civilization that has come into power, I don't care which civilization, you can go to the Greek, the Romans, the Greco-Romans, the Persian Empire. You can go back to Rome, and Rome still exists right now because, of course, America is part of Rome, you know, and the symbol is the eagle. Every great nation or empire that has ever existed has fallen within 200 or 100 or so years. And right now, as you see, China's overtaken America as far as the GDP. When you deal with Russia, Russia's taken over as far as militarily. They have a more advanced military system. When you deal with Iran, they have missiles that go Mach 10, you know, hypersonic missiles, things that we don't have. So what I'm saying is all these nations have surpassed the daughter of Babylon because the daughter of Babylon is under judgment right now. Your king, your Pharaoh, you call him Trump. 1 Corinthians 15:52, he is the last Trump. He's making changes to try to save his people. But also another thing, he's not just saving his people. He does have a sense of humanity a little bit. And he's, you know, he even got on and, you know, wished everyone a happy, what do you call it, Black Month or whatever they call it. I don't know. I think it's a joke. That's why I don't even hold on to it. How can you summarize us? First of all, you call us black, which means dead or void of color. And then you try to put all our history in 1 month. I think it's a joke, you know, but he did acknowledge Black History Month. So he acknowledged it. But at the same time, he's trying to take certain things out of school that talks about what happened to us. At the same time, you know, he's doing things that serves his people. I'll just say that. But he's still, no matter how you look at it, his heart is still being swayed like a river to fulfill biblical prophecy. Now, another thing you notice, and this is something I saw the other day, he said that we would immediately withdraw from the Ukraine area and we would come out of Ukraine. He didn't want us in war. Well, then you went on the media yesterday. This is when you get into the colonizers. This is how you know their mindset never changes, especially when they get some power and especially when they know they can just come in and, or they think they can come in and just bombard people. They can't. That time is over. And so he said that we're going to go into Gaza, not only go into Gaza, we're going to own it. Zephaniah, I believe it's chapter 29, talks about how Gaza would be a ruinous heap and that it would be a ruinous heap. It's Zephaniah chapter 2, and I think it's chapter 9. And he said it would be a ruinous heap. So right now, when you get into these scriptures, that was prophesied that Gaza would be the way it is right now. And so in his mind, he thinks he can go through, take out the landmines, so forth and so on. But I believe it's a trap, just like when Russia tricked, when Russia was tricked, when they came into the Middle East and they drew them in and then they tricked them and then they took most of their resources. I believe the same thing happened because they got out of that place really fast and they kind of just left everything. So I think it's a trap. And I think it's a trap to milk America. Even though we said we will not put ground troops down, we said we will not put any money into it, that they'll use the locals around the Gaza area to fix it up. It's all bull hockey. Nothing Edom says is true because every time they make a covenant or every time they make a treaty, what happens? They're all broken. So when I speak of the things that he's doing, I'm talking about things that I love. When I said he's getting the alphabet people out of the military, he's getting the alphabet people out of the so-called sports that women are in. You know, some of the women, I mean, one guy was lifting weights and I think he lifted 400 pounds more than the last woman who had the world record. Think about that for a minute. 400 pounds more because certain individuals should have never, ever, ever been mixing in with the women's sports. It's not even ethical. It's not moral. And so saying that, a lot of the changes he's doing is because the Most High is doing it. And the Most High is sick and tired of a world that's immoral. He's sick and tired of a people that spit on his son's sacrifices. He's sick and tired of his children leaning and depending on individuals who took him into captivity. So what he's doing is dismantling the system. And what he's doing is taking down the strongholds. What he's doing is taking away their weapons, where they don't work the way they think they work. And even so, what he's doing, he's taking away their confidence by bringing the chariots down from the heavens. And not only bringing the chariots down from the heavens, he's got them everywhere. And they realize they can't shoot them down. They can't do nothing with them. And they're just watching us right now. They're watching. They're saying, this is what the angels are saying. Our Abba in heaven sent us down here to gather the children. First, he wants us to fish. Then later we'll be hunting. But later we'll be gathering. Jeremiah 16:16. But when he does these things on this earth, this is why he told us to look up, and know that our deliverance is near. We all should be looking up right now to the heavens, the stars, and the clouds, seeing what's going on. Not worshiping the sun, not worshiping the moon, not worshiping even the chariots that we see, none of this stuff. But knowing that we have a living Elohim that's about to deliver us away from this madness, away from the hypocrisy and the double standards that are here. We at the bottom of the barrel, you know? That's why these DEI programs, I know some people, they benefited some minorities, don't get me wrong, but for the most part, it was not for us. And these programs also allowed the alphabet people to have rights where you couldn't just get rid of them. So they had to be dismantled. But saying that, do not think for any reason that this person is our friend. No, his primary job is to sustain his people and to bring them back to the state where they were. That's his mindset. This is why the Bible said that there'll be nation against nation, brother against brother. You see, they're turning on each other. This is what you're seeing. The same people who made all these rules and set up the federal government, set up the CIA, set up all these organizations, all these people sit on higher levels and he's turning on them. You know, the Simpsons did have in the cartoons that something would happen. And I'll just leave it right there. So saying that may be so, but whatever it may be, it's the Most High. It's him who's doing the puppeteering right now. You see, before he turned his face from us. He took his back to us. And so therefore, he allowed them to take the strings and become the puppeteers. And then he allowed us to be the puppets. But he's taken spiritual shears right now and he's cut the strings. Now he's given us wisdom, knowledge, returned our books back. Not only returned them back, he's given us precept by precept, line by line to get understanding. This is what we need to know and understand. As I said, I'm not doing a lesson tonight because my daughter might be having a baby tonight and I want to make sure we can get up and go. She just brought my little 2-year-old over. So I just thank the Most High for another soul, you know. That'll make me about 33 or 34. And I'm about to stop counting right now. Grandbabies, a lot of grandbabies, you know. And they are blessings. These little ones are blessings. This is another thing. This is another reason why, even though we know your Pharaoh, he has a lot of ways that sustain his people. But one thing he doesn't like also, those who are doing the things they're doing to little children. He's changing a lot of things, and he's cleaning house. He's taking a big broom. He's taking a big spiritual broom and he's sweeping house right now. And all these things have to happen because this place has become lawless. But the daughter of Babylon, who sits on many waters, she's still going down. All merchants who borrowed and traded with her have turned on her. And now that he's putting tariffs on them, do you not think that these people is going to go into deep hole? Listen, that's all coming back on us in taxes. Because if he puts tariffs on them, whatever he puts 25%, 30, 50%, it comes right back to us. And so this is why the Bible said that, you get a barrel of wheat for 1 denaro, a farthing. You don't get much for your money anymore. Look at where we're at right now. I truly remember in the 1970s when I was a little boy, and I remember my grandmother would go to the store and she would have 2 baskets of groceries and it was 75 bucks. And I just thought that was like the most money, because, back then, you can get a soda for 25 cents and, things are much cheaper then. And I remember I would get a pack of cigarettes from my mom. They were 75 cents. I think they're like $3 and $4 a pack now, something like that. Even though I told them I don't want to buy cigarettes for her, she didn't care. She still sent me to the store. Back then, you could send a child to the store to get your cigarettes. So I've seen the inflation and I've seen how expeditiously the prices have gone up, but the wages have not. The wages have not matched the price increases. This is why you have the 1% that are way up here. The ones under them are up here. They're all making money. But what they've done is suppress Jacob's children. They set up laws, Jim Crow. I can go on and on with this. Redlining. We can go on and on with this, the things that have been done. Even the Planned Parenthood that they've set in our neighborhoods, but now they've taken them away because it was their people who were going. Most of them were going. And so they had to do this because let's think about all these fentanyl and the diseases and everything else that's taken out certain populations at a record rate. But yet we keep multiplying. We keep multiplying. I know my grandbabies are growing over and over, and pretty much everyone I know of our people, they're having babies everywhere. As a matter of fact, I was talking to one of my brothers, Mr. Smith, today, and he was telling me how he has a grandbaby that'll be born in April. So we're having babies at record rate. Do you know that Yisrael, the Yehudim, the Ivrit, that we have more twins than any other nation on the earth? I don't know if you knew that. We have more twins than any other nation on the earth. We're fertile people. That's how we became as numerous as the sands of the seas. So I want to just get on here and tell everyone I love you guys, and I'll make sure that we have another lesson on the Sabbath. I pray the Most High bless us. Last Sabbath, I couldn't do one. I had to go bury my uncle. He's a really good man. He's a man who, as the scriptures say, it takes a tribe to raise, a child. And he was one of the tribal members that kept this child in line. And so one thing we have to do is always go pay homage to our ancestors. When it's time to bury them, we need to go bury them with pomp and make sure that we ask the Most High to bless their souls that we can see them again in the resurrection. The resurrection is about to happen. It's here. It's coming soon. This is why so many people are leaving this earth at record rates. I have a shoebox full of obituaries. I got a large family, 11 on one side, my mom, 11 on the side, my dad, and all of them got 7 kids or 8, and all of them got about 7, 8 kids, and got a lot of family. And all my elders are getting really old now. So I'm seeing a lot of people leave this earth, but I'm seeing a lot more young ones, believe it or not. The Most High is calling a lot of young folks home because my people perish for lack of knowledge. So it's a lot of young people leaving this earth because they don't know anything, and they've had the blind teaching them. Well, now parents, now elders, now brothers, sisters, cousins, we have wisdom now. We got these books back. Now we can read it and know, okay, don't go down that road. Don't go down that path. Don't do that. And when we do these things, when you walk and follow the blueprint, that decreases the chances of judgment. And through judgment, you go through crisis. And through crisis, then you inherit death. So let's cut these strings. The Most High has already cut them. We're the ones who put the strings back by the things we do. Remember that Satan cannot do anything to you without permission. So saying that, I want you to evaluate. I've been saying this over and over again. Evaluate everything you do. And whatever you do, use wisdom. And wisdom comes from above. All right. All praise to the Most High. I hope everyone is doing well. I guess I'll speak to a couple people. Let's see who's on here. I see Denise Richardson. You said I have a set of twins. You see, and my mom has brothers who are twins. My sister has twins. Yeah, we have more twins than any other race of people. That's how we was the numerous sands of the sea. Think about it. We were. Well, I mean, we are. You think about Judah. Let's think about Esau. Those were twins. Excuse me. Let's think about Jacob and Esau. Those were twins. So we've always had a lot of twins in the family. Let's think about Joseph. Joseph had twins, Ephraim and Manasseh. They were twins. I can go on and on with this. So we are growing in this world, number-wise, as far as bodies, because he's going to gather us. But think about this too. Ezekiel 37 says he's going to raise a whole house of our people, everyone who's ever passed away, all your children, your uncles, your aunts, your mothers, your fathers. And he says he's going to let us see them. That's why he says some of us will not taste death. Some of us will be changed in an instant within a trump. He says he's going to blow the last trump, right? 1 Corinthians 15:52. He says he's going to blow a trumpet. And then he talks about two witnesses. What are they going to do? Come up hither. He's about to gather us. Don't be prideful. Don't think you know everything or you got it. As soon as you think you got it, pride comes before a great what? Fall. As soon as you think you've got it, that's when you're going to fail and fall. Always know every day you got to strive to be a better person. Every day a better son. You want to be a better father, a better husband, a better cousin, a better friend. But more than anything, you want to be a better son, a better daughter to him. That's why he calls us his children. And that's why he told us straightway, don't call any man father. And we see the blasphemy from the harlot church that everyone calls that man what? Father. All right, love you guys. I want to give you this message before I go. I didn't want to just get on in and say, hey, we're not going on tonight. I want to have a little conversation. But anyway, let me get going and see what's going on with my daughter. I pray, and I pray you guys and gals pray for us too, that the baby is safe. They wanted to give the baby a shot for the anti-clotting, but we told them, no, we found a doctor that we don't need to do that, because if he gets circumcised, they say they need to do that. But we found a doctor who doesn't need to do those things. So, and I thought about our ancestors, and I thought about Abraham with 99 years old being circumcised, and I thought about Ishmael being 13. And then when you read the records, our babies have to be circumcised on what? The 8th day. That's when we went under the carnal laws. Circumcision is not a requirement, but circumcision is also, to me, it helps keep young men clean, so they don't have buildup when they're not circumcised. So he said that we are circumcised in the heart and the minds now. But one thing about it, when we go into the new kingdom, we'll all be circumcised again. So saying that is something we should do. All right, many are called, few are chosen. Love you guys. Announcements that I got, the calendars that we have. Lisa is actually, I had a few people who ordered them, and what we're doing now is working it out, and she'll be getting those out. I've got to take care of a few things with her. We also are trying to get the facility for the Passover. Everyone's booked up because of the election, so we got to go to a place that it's not like a how do I say, a city building. We got to actually rent a place, and the last one I looked was like $180 an hour or so. So we got to work that out, come up with the finances for all that. But we're working on it. The Most High is going to make things happen. We've had a couple people send a couple donations for Passover. We asked to send $75 if you're going to attend. That saves your seat, and that also helps us to reserve these buildings as well. Right now, anything you guys and gals can do to help the ministry is greatly appreciated. Anything you guys and gals do. We got a lot of costs now that we didn't have before. We also supposed to be feeding the homeless next month. So anything that you guys and gals can do will be a blessing to us. Remember, we're family now, and we got to look out for each other. We're not a church, so we don't have the plate going around. And, I go to work every day. I just left work. I ran here real quick to at least give some type of message if I couldn't do a Thursday lesson. I have to do at least 3 days a week to kind of maintain. I would do more videos and put more out if I didn't have to work, but we got to work. We got to pay these bills. If you don't pay them, lights get turned off, you don't have anywhere to sleep. And So this is what the Most High, and my message to my family right now, I want you guys and gals to know that we are going through the fire. A lot of us are going through things and you're like, man, what is this happening? Why is that happening? Why? You've been tested. The Most High says he's going to put temptation on the whole earth. But he said with his children, he'll keep you from the hour of temptation. Why do you say hour? Because that's just how short this time is going to be, like an hour. It's going to be a short period of time. And that time, he said he's putting it on the whole earth. Why would he put temptation on the earth? It's simple. He wants to see the fruit that comes from us. He wants to see who is going to be righteous and who's going to be unrighteous. Remember, his ways are equal, ours are unequal. All right. I want to thank you guys and gals again, and I pray that the Most High bless and prosper your ways. As we say, shalom. Oh, praises.